Hello, kindergartners. We're going to be on lesson 14-4. It's on page 823. So go ahead and turn to that page and play it when you are ready. All right, we have two different tools here for measuring. There's a 1 cup measuring cup and a cube train. So what's something that we can measure with this measuring cup? When have you seen this measuring cup before? Have you ever seen a measuring cup before? What do you do with a measuring cup? Well, measuring cup, I know I use it when I'm baking things or cooking things. I use a measuring cup and I put whatever I'm measuring inside of it. So like if I'm making cookies, I'm going to measure the flour. I'll draw some flour on the top. Flour. So I'm going to put the flour inside the measuring cup to see how much flour I'm going to need. So I put that in there. Now I wouldn't be able to use a cube train to figure out how much it is because I need to put it inside something. It would be really hard to use a cube train to try to measure some flour. It just wouldn't work. But a cube train would be good for measuring things like how long is my marker? And I can measure how long my marker is with cubes. So I could draw a marker. My marker. So I could measure with a measuring cup things like flour or water or oil or salt or sugar, things that I need to put inside of it. While things that are solid like a marker, I could use a cube train for. All right, let's see what we're going to do next. All right, we're going to be thinking of different ways, different tools that we can use to measure different things. So this pencil, what are some things that we could use to measure it with? Well, this one, we could use the cubes. We could see how long our pencil is. We could also use this scale to see how heavy it is. So a scale can tell us how heavy it is. So this tells us how long it is, and this tells us how heavy it is. Now, can we put a bunch of pencils and use a measuring cup to see its capacity? No, we can't. Using a measuring cup wouldn't really work for a pencil. We can measure how long or how heavy, but not really how much it can hold. That one wouldn't really work. All right, let's look at this. We have some water in a cup. What could we use to measure it? If we're measuring some water, we're not measuring the cup, we're measuring the water. Can we use a cube train for that to see how long it is? Now, if we held it up against this cup, we're measuring how much the cup is, not the water. But if we would pour the water out on the table, can we use that for our cube train? No, we cannot use the cube train. So that is not going to work. Can we see how heavy it is? Yeah, we could put the water in there and see how heavy the water is. We can measure how much it weighs. Can we see how much capacity it holds? Yes, we could use the measuring cup and measure how much water is in there. All right, now what about this glue stick? Can we use the cube train to see how long it is? Yes, we could use the cube train to see how long it is. Could we see how heavy it is? Yeah, we could see how heavy it was. We could put it on here and see how heavy it is. Can we put it in a measuring cup and see its capacity? No, we couldn't really put that in there. To use the measuring cup, it needs to be really tiny pieces like sugar or salt or flour, where if you would pour it out, it just kind of would go everywhere. Or with things like water, liquid. We wouldn't be able to use a measuring, we wouldn't be able to measure a glue stick with a measuring cup. Now, what about this jar? Could we see how long this jar is with our cube train? Yes, we could. We could use our cube train to see how long or how tall it is. Could we see how much this jar weighs? Yes, we could see how much this jar weighs. Could we see how much water could fit inside the jar with the measuring cup? Yes, we could see how much water fits inside the jar using the measuring cup. So this one, you could use all 3 different measuring devices. You could use cubes, a scale, or a measuring cup to see how much can fit inside the jar. All right, this last one, a ruler. What can we use to measure a ruler? Can we use a cube train to see how long it is? Yes, we can. Can we use a scale to see how heavy it is? Yes, we can. Can we use a measuring cup to see how much it can hold? No, we can't. We can't use a measuring cup. All right, let's keep practicing this, and you'll be doing your independent practice. All right, so you're gonna first look, we have an apple. What could you use to measure an apple? Then we have a cup. What could you use to measure a cup? Then we have a crayon. What could we use to measure a crayon? And then we have our scale here that tells us how much it weighs. I want you to draw 2 pictures of things that we could put on the scale to measure how much it weighs. Okay, this is the only page that you need to post onto Seesaw, and I will see your work there.